my LinkedIn. LinkedIn.
All right. Hello, everybody. Let's see if this is working. Yes, this is working. Yay. Hello, everyone who's here
Yes.
already. I'm in two places at once. Okay. So this is working. Thank you, Danny, for coming early. And okay.
Nice.
Welcome. Christina, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. If you want to invite some friends, that's a great time to do so. It's so cool. Did you know, Amy, that there are subtitles generated by StreamYard?
Cool.
So, yeah, very cool.
Everybody can read and see what we're doing. And hopefully I will speak slowly enough this time so everything will come up clearly.
Yeah. So if you can just let us know that you can hear us, maybe in the comment on the post or on the event itself, that would be great. Also, just want to tell you, it's really interesting how the space is evolving. I have a mailing list of maybe 11,000 people interested in AI and ChatGPT mostly. And I received an email today from a company in the West Coast. They have a $20,000 project for a prompt engineer. So I'm actually referring this onward because it's above my capabilities, but very, very cool. So there's big money in this space. And I want to really congratulate everyone to make the time today, because what we can see with AI is that it's not something that we can talk about as a trend. It's something that's here to stay, and it already empowers organizations and people within organizations to do more, to do better. And I would say to everyone, this participating in webinars like this and getting to know companies like K2 Global Communications is very, very important for your future development, for your career development, for your company's development. Personally, myself, I'm trying to dedicate at least a few hours a week, going toward a day a week, to just focus on ChatGPT and AI, because this is where things are going. So well done on making the time today, and hopefully we can add a lot of value. Amy has prepared quite a comprehensive presentation that covers a lot of things other than ChatGPT prompts, but also legal implications and how to actually work with the tool to get the most out of it.
Thanks, Ariel, for the great introduction. In addition to Ariel's 11,000 names on his mailing list, we're also going to be starting our AI mailing list, ChatGPT marketing, focused specifically on marketing. So if you would like to be added to our ChatGPT mailing list, please just put your email address into the posts in the column, in the comments, or you can just message me on LinkedIn directly. And if we're not linked, feel free to link to me. And that's pretty much the administrative part. I've got the presentation. If I start to speak too quickly, feel free to put slow down in the comments. I know not everyone is a native English speaker, And also, I tend to speak quickly anyway. So just let me know if I need to slow down. Also, if you have any questions whatsoever, please just put them in the comments and we will answer them. Or if you want to wait till the end and have comments back and forth. Daniel, thanks for joining the mailing list. If you've got to jump, the recordings will be both on our YouTube channel and also on our on LinkedIn itself, because this is a LinkedIn live event. LinkedIn also saves it. And eventually I will get all of this onto our own website so you guys can see. Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining the mailing list. And I look forward to keeping in touch with you. Thanks, everyone, for being on time, even a little early. We're going to give it another 2 minutes, and then we'll get started. So let's see, we have people from the UK, the United States, Israel. Anybody from really cool places far away? Anywhere interesting? Anybody get up really early for this? Or so let's see. Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining the mailing list. Oh, wow. Brazil. Thank you, Rafael, for joining us from way far away. Oh, yeah, Dove, you're right. So, Dove, you can also just directly message me, and that way you're not putting your mailing list into the list. We've got Spain. Wow, the Canary Islands. I've heard it's gorgeous there, Miriam. Oh, Puerto Rico. Wow. Tony in New York. If you guys just think back 20 years, the way that technology has evolved, Liberia, West Africa, wow, Germany, Serbia, this is just, if we had looked ahead, we would not have guessed that this was possible at all. So I'm every once in a while, whenever you're cursing your software, remember that, 5 to 500 coders sat in a room trying to get everything to work. Or you can just send a message on my WhatsApp, on my LinkedIn, or put your email here so we can put you on the mailing list. So anyway, anytime you curse software, remember that there was a room of developers who spent a lot of time and hours trying to get the software to do what you want it to do. And sometimes they succeeded and sometimes they didn't. So appreciate your developers, even as you're cursing the software with frustration. Let's get started. Let's see. Okay, so here's my commercial. I'm COO and co-founder of K2 Global Communications. We help B2B companies and B2C companies drive more leads with focused public relations, content marketing, inbound marketing, social media. We've integrated ChatGPT into our services in such a way, and also just general AI. We've got different AI products we're using for different purposes, but basically we're definitely working on getting AI as just a part of marketing, yet another marketing tool like HubSpot or any of MailChimp, etc. AI content is really just going to be another tool in your marketing toolbox. It's not going to be something where we look back and say, oh my God, what happened? Which we may. But anyway, at this point, it's just another marketing tool. Let's see, next slide. Okay. And for some reason, when you upload PowerPoint to StreamYard, it messes up the titles. So it was prettier before. Okay, so what I really want to focus on, this is not a hearts and flowers. ChatGPT is the most wonderful thing in the world that we've ever seen. I want everyone to take a critical look at what they're using ChatGPT for. It's been banned in Italy. JP Morgan is not letting employees use it because of privacy and compliance issues. And some firms are promoting it and some firms are saying no way. Okay, This is actually very, very critical that you need to consider when you're creating any content in any of the AI tools. When it comes to copyright, plagiarism, rights to the material, anything created in AI is not considered copyrightable because a human didn't write it. The other issue is the training on ChatGPT and the other software. You may have actually written something and it was used for training. So as far as that goes, anything you paste into ChatGPT, here it is. Anything you paste into ChatGPT that's proprietary, while technically you own it, it does become part of the training database. So it could become shared content that ends up in someone else's materials. So you absolutely do not want to put in any proprietary information. If you're training it on your company, what you can do is say, this is my website. Please learn my website. Please read every page. Please learn these product pages in depth. So when you're writing my materials, you're using the latest information we have. But again, nothing proprietary because you do not know where it's going to end up. The last thing you want to do is, put in some proprietary stuff, your Adidas, and say, we're developing this new sneaker. It's going to have special crosshatched waffles. And someone from Nike writes in and says, hey, is anybody from our competitor put in information about their new sneakers? And boom, here it comes. And then who's quicker to market? You do not want to do that. Also, you can heed their warning, which basically says you may not have accurate facts or information. It's in very fine print at the bottom of the page, but do keep this in the back of your mind. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Many of us are wondering, okay, will this take our jobs? We're excited, we're worried, we're scared. 300 million jobs could be affected by AI. ChatGPT is going to be replacing these specific jobs, but ChatGPT is the hottest new job skill that could get you hired. So attending webinars like this and practicing with the system and being able to demonstrate proficiency. Again, it's just like if you are a digital marketer, and you can use both Marketo and HubSpot and Zoho, you're more hireable than someone who doesn't understand digital marketing. So really, this, again, is just another tool in your marketing toolbox. Also, understand that on the non-business side, ChatGPT is learning. Yes, exactly, John. Affected doesn't have to mean negatively, as you can demonstrate that you have ChatGPT skills and it's a positive thing. But again, just remember that you don't know what it's been trained on, so take certain things from it with a grain of salt. Okay, benefits and challenges. The power of AI content. Okay, you can create content quickly and it can help counteract writer's block, and quote, everybody's doing it because you need to learn it also. Now, what I mean by help counteract writer's block, sometimes those of us who are writers professionally by training, we stare at a blank page and the blank page stares back at us. Now, not everyone learned the skill that I learned in journalism school, which is at the top of the blank page, you write, why the heck should anybody care about what I'm writing about? What is the purpose? What is the goal? As a way to get started. So what you can also do is say, ChatGPT, I'm going to be writing a blog about fish. Please give me some information about fish that I can include. And then you get some facts about fish life cycles and fish breeding, or, whatever you're specifically looking for. I don't know why I just thought of fish, but I did. So how can ChatGPT help marketers? It can be used for general research. Again, this is not going to be an issue eventually, but right now it is. You don't know the age of the training materials. So if you're asking for something more current, it may be out of date. We can use it for easy tasks like creating a new hire press release, We just hired Jane. Jane went to the University of Kansas. She worked at General Electric. She worked at Coca-Cola. She worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And Jane is going to be doing this, this, and this for us. Please write a press release. And it's really good at easy stuff like that. It can also handle smaller tasks like, here's a blog. Can you please write social media posts relating to this blog? Again, writing down social posts. It can also increase our productivity by being able to produce more content in a shorter period of time. Everything that ChatGPT creates, though, needs to be reviewed. Oh, and consistent quality. So you'll see on the right, this is what ChatGPT wrote. And one of the things that makes me crazy about ChatGPT is it really likes cliches. In journalism school from the University of Missouri, when we would do this, we would have our editors literally say to us, what is this bleep? So it started off, the marketing landscape has evolved significantly over the past decade, and businesses are constantly seeking ways to stay ahead of the curve. Duh. One of the most effective ways to do so is blah, 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 blah. So we basically killed that entire paragraph. We did some editing, and you can see all the revisions. And then here's what we ended up with: fewer redundancies, more details. Okay, so what we had initially is, you'll see later on in the presentation, I used the word negative instead of risk. And so this is what it told me, that there may be instances my responses will be inconsistent or generated unexpected results. It's important to verify the information provided by me with additional sources and exercise critical thinking, which means take everything ChatGPT says with a grain of salt. Okay, so again, AI content generation isn't the be all and end all. There are ownership issues, credibility, correctness, quality, and search. While Google is creating Bard, it may also figure out a way to analyze content for human style or ChatGPT style and decide if you use ChatGPT or anything else from Microsoft's AI unit, then it's going to be discounted. Obviously, this is not happening yet, but it's just something to keep in the back of our mind. And this is just my perspective that we've got developed over time just by using it. It's clean, but kind of boring. It's good enough, but it's not great. It's missing creativity. We're also worried about the art of writing. There's some really amazing writers out there, and we don't want to kill people's creativity before it starts. Also, when you're writing for a specific audience, people may start to assume that AI wrote it, and you need to be aware of the fact that everything you write, you do need to humanize. Anyone who is not a good writer may think, oh, this is great, and not look so great. And also, if there's an error, you're the one publishing it. Ariel, you want to talk about what you've been doing when you write something with Grammarly and the checks that you're doing? Ariel, you've muted yourself. Nope, you're still muted. I don't know why. Let me see.
Okay, here we go. So when you create content, it's really important to use a tool like AnyWord or Grammarly to fix that content, because ChatGPT has its own style. It does do some grammatical mistakes. So if you are going to publish something, definitely run it through one of those tools. Hemingway app, if you're really serious about it as well. Some of these tools are free and some aren't. But for those who just joined us, I just want to reiterate the story that I told. I got an email today offering me a $20,000 project for prompt writing. Okay, so this field is really coming along greatly. So please take it seriously and don't dismiss it as a trend.
Okay, now we're going to go right into ChatGPT, itself. Okay, so you need to teach ChatGPT what you specifically want. You need to focus on strategy, your goals, your purpose, who you are. You need to plan, select the channels, the types of content. You need to make sure your prompts are as clear and concise as possible. And again, we're talking about fact errors, leverage familiarity, choose areas that you can fact check or someone on your team can fact check, so there's not a problem. And then again, what we discussed before, don't give it any proprietary details, but you can give it as much public knowledge information as you want, so it really learns what you want and what you need. And again, this was create your prompts on one line, be as clear and concise as possible, and the fact checking. Also, again, putting in the website material, because anything you're going to get is very generic. Okay, so we're going to address this really quickly. ChatGPT 3.5 versus ChatGPT 4. This is what ChatGPT 4 says about itself. This presentation is made using ChatGPT 3.5 simply because 9 times out of 10, I don't know if it's due to volume or technical problems on the back end, but 9 times out of 10 when I'm using ChatGPT 4, it crashes on me. And I just don't have the patience to wait for it not to crash. So everything here is from 3.5. Okay, so how can ChatGPT make marketers more efficient? Content creation, optimization, research. Again, take everything with a grain of salt. Social media, personalization. Personalization you can do by role. There are ways of inputting ChatGPT into spreadsheets. So you can do mail merge personalizations. There's some software out there, a variety of tools. We're using Linkcredible that will add in more personal information, but that, does require a little bit of integration on the back end.
It's actually pretty straightforward. I've used that to cold message about 400 companies. I took some information about them from Crunchbase, and then I fed that information to ChatGPT for Sheets and asked it to write a rap about each of those companies. But you can do really good personalization using ChatGPT and ChatGPT for Sheets. So it's still a little bit cumbersome to use, but soon enough it's going to become easier with more tools coming on the market.
Yeah, because right now, one of the issues is there are so many AI tools calling themselves AI, whether they're AI or not. It's kind of like AI first started in cyber, and everyone is saying, oh, our cyber security product uses AI for this and this and this. So AI itself isn't new. It's just that it's now available for public consumption is what makes it new. Let's see what's next. Okay, so we've got it broken down. This is kind of the agenda. We're going to talk about HTML, SEO, email, sales enablement content, social media, inbound marketing, and then discuss how to create more complex prompts. Okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, so basic coding. Whoops. Okay, for some reason I've just gotten turned on the presentation. Okay, so we've got basic code. Just, most of us at this point already know how to use WordPress and HTML, but if there's something special you want to do, you can definitely ask ChatGPT to create the code. If you're asking it to create more complex code, you do need to worry about security holes, open source issues, but for basic HTML, the likelihood that it's going to embed a vulnerability is not that high. It's just if you're using it for more complex coding, you'll need to run one of the vulnerability analysis tools. But basic HTML code, it sets it up for you. It leaves space for your comments and content, etc. And you can describe what the landing page can look like and go much more in depth on that. Okay, so SEO. I asked it to look at our website and provide some SEO suggestions. Now, what I found frustrating is there's nothing in here that's new. There's nothing that we wouldn't have known on our own. So I asked it to get more specific. So I said, ask for step-by-step directions for each activity. And it basically just spread out those. It got more specific on the examples, but because it told us, it told us we don't have access to your website, so we can't do that. But later on, I'll show you what it can do. Here it is. Yeah. So go through our site with an eye toward SEO. I don't have access, but this is basic SEO, how to do. Okay. So this is something more specific on email marketing. Focusing, the more detailed you get when you write a prompt, the more detailed you're going to get back. The more you can tell it what you want and need, the better it will respond. Kind of like talking to our spouses or our friends or our kids. The more you articulate exactly what you need, the more clear and consistent and concise it is, the better the response. So here is a basic email on streamlining content creation. Now, again, with 3.5, there are some limitations to where it stops. And all you need to do is say, please continue. And again, this is something that's an issue now, but in the long run will not be a problem. Okay, so you can't put in a lot of proprietary info. So we have a little bit of detail on something we can make public, like it's reduced breaches by 17% and prevented 6 insider threats. And then we have some more specific comments and questions that we can then fill in on our own, or with ChatGPT saying, okay, here's the answer to question 1. Please write a response. Okay, so here's something that we actually really like ChatGPT for, because you can say, give me a testimonial quote that doesn't include, happy, pleased, excited, and focus on the business case. Because a lot of times you're getting a quote, we're so excited that, or we're happy to announce that. So sometimes it's easier to say what to exclude and what to put in. So this is actually a pretty decent quote. There is some blah, blah, but it's like, we are confident that this platform will continue to be a key component of our security strategy as we grow and expand our operations. The issue is that's actually the blah, blah that would go into a human written quote anyway. So it's just a matter of whether you want to get rid of that or keep that in. Okay, social media. Again, this was nice and pretty when I had it in PowerPoint. Now it's just social med. So we want the most recent data. We would like to post on social media, and we need all citations, but we don't want to use anything as out of date. And it says, as my cutoff date is September 2021. So again, out of date data, but you have generally, it's Gartner, it's IDC, and you can do a Google search to find the more recent data. Okay, so promotional, social media. So what we're saying is message tone per channel, and the post should include not only how we're using ChatGPT, but the risk, because we don't, again, this is not hearts and flowers and everyone loves this. It's what can we do to use ChatGPT in a good way that doesn't cause us any challenges. So this is where I wrote, don't put in anything negative. And it wrote back saying, I can't be negative. If I'm negative, it's because of my training. So for example, here it is. As with any IA tool, this is always the risk of bias and inaccuracy. Verify its recommendations and use it as a tool, not a replacement for you in creativity, etc. Okay, so it only had enough bandwidth for LinkedIn and some of Twitter. And then I said, please continue with the Facebook post because it does know what you just told it. So you can just do a continue with. Okay, so inbound marketing, this is a much more complex request. Inbound marketing campaigns, as many of you are already aware, it's blogs, it's white papers, it's downloaded premiums, it's workflow, email, follow-up, you downloaded this, now here's that and the other thing. So I asked for an outline and then writing it. So the campaign overview, the objective is to educate B2B marketers and the critical components. And then the outline for the blog post, the social media posts. And then I wrote, create the materials, create the text for the landing pages. And so it gave much more in-depth information, the landing page text, the title, the body text. Oh, okay. This is going more quickly than I realized. But I'm hoping I at least speak a little more slowly this time and still covering what you want to cover. So basically, when you're making more complex requests, you tell the machine it needs to do something. I need you to write 10 blogs. Explain what the overall goal is. The reason we want these blogs is for lead generation and SEO and to appeal to generate new business. Then the persona, our customers, our marketers with this much experience. Okay, spell out exactly what you needed to do step by step. I need 6 blogs. I need 5 social media posts. I need 10 emails. I need 6 ideas for graphics. I need 5 ideas for a trade show giveaway. Give an example of content that matches the tone and language you like to use. So if you've got some blogs on your website that you really like the style and the tone, just copy it into ChatGPT. So it's already public knowledge. And you say, this is the style and tone we want to use. Please use something similar when you write it. Make sure you're specific if you don't want it to do a certain task. So please exclude the words happy. Please don't put in excited. Please make sure that there is no gender bias or racist comments or assumptions about people's level of education. And, define the format, social posts, blogs, white paper outline, etc. Okay, so here it is. This again, we're using this for ourselves. I need you to create a marketing campaign that will provide experienced marketing managers why they need to hire an external marketing consultant with expertise in ChatGPT. The campaign should continue a series of LinkedIn social posts of at least 200 words, 5 direct marketing emails, and 6 blogs of at least 600 words. Within each blog, make concrete suggestions about images, and then write promotional posts. And do not include any data older than January 1st of 2023. Make sure it provides implicit and explicit reasons. Discuss the financial benefits and make sure you format the materials. So it's very specific. So it gave me the general outline. And then I asked, please go into more detail. And then I said, start writing the campaign in its entirety because, again, it ran out of space. This was the length of the first blog. And I said they need to be 600 words each. And it still came back with a very short blog. And I had to write again, these posts are still too short. Write one of 600 words first, and then write the next one. So after nagging it, nudging it, and clearly specifying exactly what I wanted multiple times, this should sound familiar again, talking to your children or your spouse or your boss or your friend. The blog posts are still too short. Please write one of 600 words. And then it was finally long enough. So this is about 600 words. I didn't paste in the whole thing. Okay, and then here's something else that you may want to use ChatGPT for. After you write something, make sure it fits your tone, make sure it fits your purpose. So I took an old blog that we created in human hours, in human time, well before there was ChatGPT. And I said, okay, this is the content, this is the audience, is this the tone? Is there any areas that can be improved? Is it too long? Is it too short? And so it wrote back, it says it has the appropriate tone, it's friendly, engaging, and approachable. It might be helpful to include examples of successful booths that used free perks to drive traffic. It can also be useful to provide some tips on how to measure the effectiveness. It's not too, it's Goldilocks. It's not too long. It's not too short. And ChatGPT likes it, which is nice because sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so then this was a blog it didn't like. I asked it to analyze this blog, which was about an incident we had with a CEO who did not believe in marketing, which is why we demonstrated his best product in the world was on page 5 of Google. So we basically said, is this blog persuasive enough to make them understand the critical role of PR? And it said, okay, this is what you're missing in SEO. This is what you need to do. It's not addressing their needs or concern. The language is too informal and lacks professionalism, which is true because we are talking about a CEO's tantrum, and that's not something CEOs like to read about, other CEOs having tantrums. But, we used it for illustration because we're using a very radical example. It's saying we were a bit too confrontational. But that was our purpose was to be confrontational and not be, as they put it, namby-pamby. So, you may or may not agree with ChatGPT when it analyzes what you're doing. Okay, so concrete feedback. Same blog. And I said, give more detailed suggestions for improvement. So here's how you improve the SEO of the blog. But, it's kind of boring. Why public relations and marketing communications are crucial for tech companies, or improving your tech company's visibility, the role of public relations and marketing communications. One of the issues with ChatGPT is, again, as Ariel said before, it has its very own style, which may not be your style, may not be the company's style, or may just be boring as heck, and you need to update it to make sure it's more interesting. Okay, so here was the introduction. In this blog post, we will discuss why public relations and marketing communications are crucial for tech companies looking to improve the visibility in their market. Some people really like these agenda paragraphs. I can't stand them. I think they're a waste of time. If you're going to do that, just have big headers with bullets, and that way people can scan the whole thing and not have to try to find this paragraph. But again, that's my style. That's what we do for our clients. Okay, so this was kind of interesting. I had fun playing with this. This is Be ChatGPT. Identify its persona, its job, its actions, and the goal. And so what I mean by that is you can say you're a marketer or you're a prompt engineer, and this is what you do, and this is what I need you to do, and this is the goal of what you're doing. So, for example, you're a member of our company's tech support team. I need your help to make me create the most effective prompts. Anytime I ask you to do a task, you'll ask the relevant follow-up questions to make sure the task is completed to my specifications. After every interaction, I will have the best results possible with no plagiarism, no repeating content from any other sorts, and creative ideas that will appeal to my target audience. And then it goes into very specific questions about what we would need to answer to get ChatGPT to do exactly what we want it to do. Okay, so that was the prompt overview. Ariel, do we have any questions or comments we need to speak about? You're muted again. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. It's just as you've shown. Sometimes it takes time to get the right prompt. So don't give up too easily. Just play with it because once you crack it, once you have the right formula, then you can be a content machine, and you can use and reuse the same prompt and refine it as you go along. But it's definitely worth the time because ultimately it saves a lot of time, which is great.
Okay, Ariel, have we have any questions from anybody on the webinar itself?
Let me just check if there's any questions. Let me just refresh the page. Okay, there's a recommendation for a page scraper. References. There's some really interesting comments. If there's any questions, please post them now, and we'll be able to address them maybe later in the presentation.
Okay, so now we're going to ChatGPT and you to address our fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You versus ChatGPT, only you can build relationships, analyze the strategies, again, go be contrite, the game-changing tools, and it can only do what you tell it to do. It doesn't think independently. Garbage in, garbage out. And again, it's just another tool we must master. Anytime ChatGPT creates your content, you need to review everything and make sure the end results represent your messages, make sure it reflects your company's voice, tone, and style. And again, use it as a tool to accelerate your timeline. Don't let it replace your creativity. What we have found with some of the other AI tools beyond ChatGPT is that based on your writing style, some of the tools are easier to use and some are harder to use. If you are someone who naturally works with outlines and you prefer to outline what you're doing, you're going to find really great results with some of the other AI content tools because most of them ask for the equivalent of some sort of outline, the key points you want to make, what you want included in your conclusion, etc. So if you're an outline maker, these tools are really great. For people like me who kind of have everything written in my head, and by the time I get in front of a keyboard, it's already written. I actually prefer ChatGPT because then I can just say, this is what I want to write. And here are some details versus an actual more long physical outline. But that's just my style. Everybody has their own. Now, marketing beyond ChatGPT. Again, we discussed the issues of ChatGPT with regard to proprietary information, the fact that a lot of what it writes is generic. So you really need to get your marketing back focused on your company. So corporate data. This is one thing that we push everybody at every software company that we have ever worked with. See what information your company is collecting and aggregate it, because then you can use that data for benchmarking. You can use that data for infographics and presentations and social media, you name it, you can use the data. It also becomes industry news because nobody else has that data. It's yours and it's proprietary and you can decide to make it public. Again, sales enablement content, it can write the case studies, but you do have to give it proprietary information for that. And then also account-based marketing with customized and personalized content. Now those spreadsheets, the ChatGPT for Sheets really works well for that, but you may also want to do a bit more one-to-one humans. And again, product marketing, really focus on what's unique about your product. And again, be aware of what you paste into ChatGPT. And here's our commercial for ChatGPT and beyond: messaging, PR, inbound, and sales enablement content, social media, marketing, and events. And that is everything I have to say today. So let's see. Anything. Now I'm scrolling through to see if there was any. Let's see. Okay, so Mirana wrote that there are issues that ChatGPT references made up sources, which makes perfect sense. Let's see. A free AI team assistant or project planner. Okay, Zapier. Oh, it can create WordPress plugins. That's handy to know. Thank you, Mark. Let's see. Oh, basics in prompting engineering. Okay, having problems with the feed. Unfortunately, I just saw that now, so I'm sorry. Yeah, blog post prompts can be very detailed, which will produce better results. Yes.
Dov, you mentioned that if you're still with us, you can go to k2-gc.com and submit your email over there if it's more convenient for you.
Yes, definitely.
Rosemary, the mail merge company, it's ChatGPT for. There's two tools for that. One is ChatGPT for Sheets, and the other one is, if I remember the name, I'll let you know.
Okay. That's pretty much everything. Thanks everybody for attending. We'll still take questions. You know, we've got officially 18 minutes left. Thank you, everybody. I can be emailed amy@k2-gc.com. You can just link with me. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to get in touch and we can help you out. Dov, you don't need the API and ChatGPT at this point. I think for Sheets, is it still free, Ariel?
Well, you can use. You do need to use the API. You will get some free credits, I guess, to start with. But then it's like to generate 400 messages. It was like 20 cents. So and you can get the API pretty straightforward. So it's really, really cost effective. I mean, when I compare it to having a team member to do 400 comparisons and to write 400 drafts or to personalize messages, it's just a no-brainer to use ChatGPT. Yeah.
Yeah, what we're finding ChatGPT is very helpful with. One of the things we do is we do a lot of content rewrite. We use the phrase with our clients from the American campaign: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So anything you create for a blog, you can use for social posts. You can turn blogs into articles. So we find ChatGPT to be very useful for that, because what it's doing is helping make sure that we're not plagiarizing ourselves. And it does the rewrites pretty well because it already has every single piece of information. So that is everything. Also, LinkedIn will keep these comments up relating to this webinar. So if you want to go back through and ask some questions of the other people who had really great suggestions, that would be, I'm sure everybody, I'm speaking for all of you, but I'm guessing that since everybody's here and welcoming, that could be checked. Okay, Simon, code checkers for advanced code written with AI. There are tons and tons of security software products out there that are specifically for DevSecOps. If you just look up DevSecOps, you will find many different tools that will be able to check your code, because they're also being used for open source. Jennifer, yes, this will be on LinkedIn Live for always until LinkedIn cleans up their sites and makes changes. And also, we're going to post this on our YouTube channel. And, the shoemaker has no shoes issue. As soon as I get everything organized on resources for K2, our resources page, all of the links will be on our resources page as well. So thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate everybody's attending. Ariel, any last minute comments from your side?
Yeah, definitely make sure to follow Amy. You can see her as the host over there. She's going to have some exciting news in the ChatGPT front. And if you're looking for a communications agency, PR agency, definitely visit k2gc minus gc.com .net.com and
Yes.
and get in touch.
So thanks, everybody. And again, if you want to join our ChatGPT mailing list, just give me your email here or email me on LinkedIn. And thanks again. And I'm going to click the end broadcast button. And thanks, everybody, so much for joining us till the end. Take care and have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.